Alright everybody, it's time to talk about Weekly Shonen Jump 2026 issue number 24. We are back. We had a break week last week, but we're back stronger than ever with Kagurabachi taking the cover. And, you know, it's a good cover. It's been a while since we've had a Kagurabachi cover. And, you know, it's a good illustration. I can't be like over the moon about it. It's not really like blowing my mind looking at it, but it's cool. I guess it's nice to see Chihiro again in a time of the story where we're not seeing him at all. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about the cover other than that. Looks cool. Before we get into the magazine, I do just want to plug a Shonen Jump adjacent video I just made last week in, replacement for the Shonen Jump video itself. I did an hour-long video about Black Clover. It's a whole series retrospective going over the manga, the anime, everything about it in one video. So again, hour-long. Go check it out if you want. My biggest video yet. Really happy with how it turned out. So check it out if you want. Ed wants you to watch it too. All right, let's go ahead and get into this issue. Kagurabachi Chapter 121, The Irishima Talks End. Fantastic chapter, but first I want to talk about the character popularity poll results. Pretty interesting, not what I would have expected, to be honest. This is from Japan. They make note in the top right corner that these are the Japanese results only. This isn't taking into account worldwide votes. I don't even think worldwide votes were available for this poll. I think this is just Japanese. I think if this included the States, Samura would have been honestly probably number one, if maybe just two, I don't know. But it's really interesting to see the characters that Japan latches onto. I am honestly shocked to see Shiba in here. I've always really loved Shiba, but he doesn't ever do a whole lot in the series proper. We're now getting a lot of him here, and maybe actually, honestly, that might be why he's kind of climbing up the ranks, because of his kind of main character role of this flashback, honestly. He's very, very involved. And that leads me perfectly into the chapter itself. I love getting to see Shiba do things. This is very satisfying and fulfilling as somebody who's been reading this series literally since the beginning. It's awesome to see Shiba finally getting some time in the sun and doing some really cool stuff. I love the way this whole fight wraps up. It's very fun to read, as with every other Kagurabachi fight. And this whole final chapter, just seeing people go down one by one and ending off with Shiba being the only... The exact line is, Togo Shiba, one man alone, returned to Japan. That's just a really cool way to end the chapter. I loved this one. This was a really, really cool finale to this surprisingly good part of the arc. Going into this, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I mean, it did start really strong, don't get me wrong. The Irishima talks, I mean, not the flashback itself, that kind of started weak, actually. But this, I was just like, okay, what is this? I don't know if I really care all that much. But this, on its own, has gotten me fully on board with this flashback, and I am very much ready to see the rest of it. Loved it. Ichi the Wish, Chapter 81, Put Up. This was a fine chapter. I gotta be honest, I'm having kind of a hard time getting into this arc so far. It's just weird. Like, everything about it feels very atypical from this series, and I don't know if that's a good thing yet. Like, this could end up being really cool. I'm on board, obviously. I absolutely love this series, and I really want to see it blow my mind here, but I'm just not on the same page as it right now. I kind of have two minds about it, though, because on one end, I really dislike how fast-paced this arc is, because it's not really letting me breathe. It's just throwing stuff at me back to back, like over and over again. We got like the Magic Keepers, Minataka's back, like being reminded of who he even is, Traitor, new villain. It's just a bunch of stuff non-stop thrown at me, and we're just going into it. Like, it's happening, everything's happening, we're fighting. It's just going right into the conflict. But on the other side, I kind of like how fast-paced it is. Like, it's kind of cool that shit just hits the fan immediately. I don't know. I guess my real verdict on this won't be decided until I see the full story. But as of right now, I just kind of sit somewhere in the middle, I suppose, maybe leaning more towards not liking it, because I'm not really feeling a whole lot right now. I'm just watching these things happen. I'm like, okay, I guess. But it is really cool and exciting action. I do enjoy how we're just going, we hit the ground running. I just wish I had more reason to care about what the conflict I'm seeing, you know? I'm just not fully on board right now. I hope to get there, though. It'll be cool to see Minataka do something, though. He comes in at the end here, so I mean, that's neat. I also like we get a small little reaction bubble of Destroyerz here after he says he's his mentor. That's fun. Sorry, I've never done this before. I haven't even read the chapter yet. I just opened it. This is called One Piece, chapter 1182, Zaza. And combined with this little illustration this week of being Fujitora just slurping on ramen. Why is it called Zaza? I guess I'll get there. That's awesome. That made me laugh really hard, and I just had to get that out there. All right, there's gonna be a cut, and I'm gonna have read the chapter now. Sorry. Okay, well, I do know why it's called Zaza now. I'll get there. It's the literal end of the chapter, but Oda does that a lot. He names the chapter on something that happens on the last page. I've noticed that. He does that pretty frequently. Anyhow, honestly, not a whole lot to say about this chapter. It was like fine enough. It was a lot of talking that I'm not particularly interested in, which is unusual for One Piece. I usually am actually very interested in the dialogue, but I don't know, something about what is happening here is just kind of setting my mind into a frenzy. There's so much happening that I can barely even keep up. I just want to see Imu and Loki right now, but my attention's being now, because of this chapter, just thrown about all over the place. We touch on like literally every character for the most part, which is cool. I mean, we haven't seen Bonnie in forever. She doesn't really have an active role in this arc. She's just watching, and I mean, Lilith makes that even more clear. She's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna let you fight. I'm your guardian now. Which, did we know that? Did we know that Lilith is just gonna take care of Bonnie? Also, I know she is a child, but like, she's been taking care of herself for like, however many years. I think she's fine, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Bonnie is a very bizarre character on paper. Like, I don't really know what her future holds. I can't imagine what kind of role she's going to serve going forward. I can't even believe she's still around, honestly. It felt like her story concluded in a really nice way on Egghead, but now she's just kind of here. I suppose you could say the same thing for Law and Dressrosa, too. Like, that was a really nice end to his story. Sorta, kinda, you know what, maybe not fully, but Dressrosa has issues. Narratively, though, I felt like his story was kind of concluded there. Anyway, whatever, I'm talking about too much nonsense. Yeah, a lot of talking, it was fine. Chopper undid everything that just happened immediately. Awesome. It's Oda, man, whatever. Sometimes I just gotta throw my hands up and let them roll. Oda will do Oda things. And then yes, we end off with the reveal of God of Rain Zaza. And Stephen Paul, who is the translator, I really think the wording of freaky in that top bubble was very intentional. Awesome stuff. It's a really cool design, actually. I quite enjoy the design. So, hell yeah. Yeah, beyond that, I think we're gonna get like a little Zoro-Sanji team-up moment, which might be cool. I'm kind of excited to see that. It's cool that we're getting the other Straw Hats involved, even though I guess it's just like the main ones that are always involved. Thus far, this arc has been doing a pretty decent job of giving every Straw Hat something to do. I have been disappointed with Usopp. I'm hoping his involvement isn't over, but for the most part, every other character or every other Straw Hat has done something. Jinbei, maybe not so much, actually. He's kind of taken a back seat, but I'm sure his time will come. Good stuff. Nothing super crazy this week, but I enjoyed it. And the little bits we did get of Imu and Loki was pretty good. Nothing even close to how it's been in the past few weeks, but really cool nonetheless. I'm on Hertz Chapter 32. It's all right. This was a great chapter. I really loved this one. I'm really enjoying these new characters. What are their names? I don't know. Reiji and Mokomo. They're cool. Reiji being kind of like a rival character to Mime is a really fun idea. I think this will be a really interesting dynamic if we continue to explore it, which I expect us to. These feel like proper reoccurring characters. I think we'll be seeing a lot of them because they're like on the same, well, Reiji at least is like sort of on the same level. He's like an up-and-comer. It's like a classic, case of a rival or like arc antagonist in a story like this, where it's somebody who's like just right ahead of our main character. He's just right there, just a little out of reach, but attainable. He's a goal, somebody to challenge our main character. My favorite moment of the whole chapter is where Reiji's doing his whole shtick about like, I don't really care about Monmid, I just do it because of her. And there's a panel of Mime and Mizuo where Mime is thinking in his head, what's with this guy? But Mizuo says out loud, what's with this guy? I just love that. It's such a simple thing, but it made me laugh really hard. It's just a perfect showcase of their personalities. I love that. Yeah, really good chapter. I really like this new dynamic. This was very fun. The only kind of disappointment is I kind of wish we got to see more of the live show because I still barely understand what it was. I guess they were just kind of doing the show on the stage, which doesn't really seem that exciting to me, but I don't know. What do I know? Besides that, really cool chapter. Really liking where the story's headed. In Roboco Chapter 280, Inside Roboco. A classic concept of, shrinking down and going inside a body and, having a bunch of little versions of them running around and doing stuff, having a whole community. It was fun. It wasn't like a wholly original concept, but I did enjoy reading it. I, of course, enjoyed the Dragon Ball references, all the little Majin Buu nods and all that. That was cool. But, I don't know, it didn't have a whole lot of... I hesitate to say substance because that's a really dumb thing to say about Roboco. I guess I just wasn't laughing a whole lot. These weren't like deep cutting jokes. It was just very surface level, like, hey, look, it's a reference and we're in Roboco's body. Look at that, guys. Isn't that awesome? It just kind of relied solely on that gimmick. It was fine though. I had a good time reading it. Just not a mind blower, not a gut buster. Regular old chapter of Roboco. Nothing wrong with it.
He did the Monster Man.
Roku's House of Oddities, Chapter 5, Stream Side. So, again, I am getting more on board with the series. I think this was another good chapter. The weakest of the bunch so far of like the solo chapters, but I still enjoyed it. This guy's gimmick is kind of just like the misunderstood... He's not a softie. I was going to say softie, but he's just... I don't know. Don't judge a book by its cover kind of guy. He's a nice guy. People keep saying he looks scary. I don't really see it. It's just a mask. I don't really think it's that scary. He just looks like a normal dude other than that. But then he does some cool action stuff. It's pretty neat to see action in this series, honestly. It looked pretty cool. I like the gunplay and completely eviscerating a car. That was pretty fun. And just like the absurdity of the situation of just like all this shit happening, like a car crash, a baby falling from a... What is this even happening? A stroller. Okay, like a stop sign hits the stroller and launches the baby off a bridge. Holy shit. That's some intense stuff. But he saves everybody and carries on. The police officers salute him afterwards. It's fun. It's just like funny, absurdist stuff, which I enjoy. Pretty good chapter once again. I am enjoying the series now. I'm definitely getting its vibe more and getting more into the swing of things where I previously was like, this series sucks. So, massive improvement. I think I will enjoy this for the time being. Good job. I'm very impressed, honestly. Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, Chapter 91, Final Showdown in the Demon Realm. I have two key talking points about this chapter. One maybe a little negative and the second positive. So first I'm going to talk about Helzabobo. I think I'm a little disappointed in how he's acting now that he's in like full demon mode. He just doesn't really have that same charm he did before. I don't know if it's just me, but he feels a little off. He's just kind of like a raging monster right now, which is a little lame. I don't like when villains devolve after they transform. Well, okay, actually that's not true. Sometimes that's actually done pretty well, but I don't know if it's done well here. It's not even like super extreme. Like he doesn't have a whole lot of lines here, but I just feel like his personality kind of got stripped away, which is a little disappointing. I don't know, maybe not even, it's like there's still little hints of it here and there, like still talk about the coffin and all that, but it just doesn't feel the same. I don't know, something about it. Whatever, minor complaint. But what I do like here is the little ending with all the lower level demons giving Kiyoshi their Genki. Gonna do a Genki Dama here or something, but whatever he does here is going to be sick. I really like this moment. It just feels right. Like this is what should be happening right now. Kiyoshi has spent a lot of time in this arc looking out for the lower level, just citizens of the demon realm. And this feels really nice to have them all come together and want him to fight for them. Really cool chapter. I guess a little minor disappointment, but I don't even know how much I really care. It was just an observation more than anything. Good stuff.
Get this man a gun.
Sakamoto is Chapter 258, Sonic Boom. Similar thoughts as I've been having for the last few weeks. This fight is really stupid. I don't care about it, but Tenkyu is cool. So the one thing I can give this chapter is that we do get some cool action comparatively. Because again, the characters that have been involved, I don't care about them or their powers or their anything. They just suck and are boring. Tenkyu is at least kind of cool. I like that he uses a bow and arrow as both like a melee weapon and a ranged weapon. It's fun. It's neat. It's a neat gimmick to have a character whose primary weapon is a bow and arrow. The antagonist here, whose name I haven't even bothered to remember, sucks still. He's very boring and bland, and I don't care to see him even get defeated because who is this guy? Why should I care? Only good thing to say about this chapter is thank you. He's cool. Drawn to the Fire, Chapter 4, First to Score. Okay, I'm not feeling this series. I'm really not. I'm having a really hard time getting into it. I said the same thing last issue, and I just am finding myself week by week losing faith in it as well. I never really had a lot of faith in it to begin with, but week by week I just feel the staying power slipping. Like, I don't see this latching on to anybody, or I don't see anybody latching onto it, rather. I myself am certainly not. I'm feeling nothing while reading this. I'm not getting any kind of emotional response or even really being interested in what anybody is doing or saying. It's just a thing I'm reading. There's some mildly cool moments of art. I did like this. It's a very small panel. I kind of wish it was bigger, but it looks cool. It's this little panel at the bottom of a page where a character's all in shadow about the dunk. That's pretty cool. And it's nice to see all the starters in action, like, already. I guess that's a fun way to get going. To have a game with all the starters. Sure, having it this early is a good idea, I have to admit. Normally in sports series it kind of takes a minute to get our whole starting lineup, but here we just have it. It could evolve throughout the series if this lasts that long, at least. For what they are as, designs for a starting lineup, I actually think they're pretty strong designs. They stand out, amongst each other, so that's good. That's what you want to do. Obviously, that's very important. And even the bench warmers, they're all right. They're kind of endearing. Like any other sports series, I'm sure one day the bench warmers will have their time to shine as well. Just have little moments here and there. But yeah, I don't know. It was okay. I just don't really feel myself getting too attached. That could change. Obviously, I'm still keeping an open mind. It's very early, but this isn't doing a whole lot to impress me right off the bat. Which isn't something I value a whole lot. Again, I really do like slow burns. I think series need to give itself time to become something. It's just that the current landscape of Shonen Jump doesn't really allow for that, which is a main component as to why I think this series is not going to last. But my experience isn't everybody's. Other people could be latching onto it and seeing things that I'm not. So that's why the comment section is valuable. Let me know what you think about this series. I'm really curious because for me, I'm not getting anything out of it. But if you guys are, I want to hear about it because maybe I can get on that same page if I hear an explanation as to what makes this series stand out to you. There's something about it that is still intriguing to me. I want to like it. There's just something about it. It has some little quality to it that I can't pinpoint that just makes me want to be like, I want to see this succeed and go on and do something. Because it's got something in its DNA that makes it endearing, I guess. Witch Watch, Chapter 246, Bone Crisis, Part 15. This was a really good chapter. Wolf's Last Stand. I was saying before how I was getting big death flags from Wolf, and that sounded ridiculous in my head. Like, how do you kill one without the other? Or like, what's gonna happen here? It's happening. I think Wolf is gonna die. I really do. I don't think this is gonna be a fake out death. This feels real to me. We're getting very final moments with the character. It feels satisfying to him, which is shocking. And we're gonna have I think next chapter is gonna be a whole conversation with him and Keigo, and probably wrapping up with Nemu as well. When I previously talked about the possibility of Wolf dying, it's kind of, I guess it is kind of hard for me to remember what I said out loud and what I just thought, like, to myself outside of recording, but my thoughts were, I don't know if that's the best route to go with this character. It's a little disappointing. It feels like a cop-out, there's this weird love triangle happening with the three of them. Let's just kill one of them. That sucks, but I don't feel like that's... Okay, maybe that is the intention, honestly, on the mangaka. I won't deny that. But the way it's being done so far, let's see next chapter. So far, I think it's really impressive, and it's giving the impression that it's not doing that. This is feeling like a natural narrative decision. Like, this is what should and always would have happened, despite, love triangle nonsense. I really like this for Wolf, though. I can't wait to see next chapter. I feel terrible for him. What an awful existence this man has had. I do genuinely hope there is some possibility for a happy ending for him, but it really feels to me that this is a real death, which is crazy for Witch Watch. But this could be a pretty historical and legendary moment in the series if it sticks the landing, as well as it seems to be doing. Very good chapter. I was really impressed with this one. Class 2B Hero Destroyerz Chapter 3, Hero's Justice approximately equal to Demon's King's Evil less than need to poop. These chapter names are gonna kill me. This is a lot. Anyway, fun chapter. I really like that we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the story now. Our two main characters are finally like forming some kind of bond with each other beyond just like the basic relationship that they've had of, you know, I guess like they're acquainted with each other, but now they actually got something going, which is cool. We got our first hero showing up, which given the name of the series, I assume we'll be fighting a lot of these. It's cool to see. Nothing too substantial to say about our first hero here, but I assume, again, this is like our first minor antagonist in a sea of others that are soon to come. I also just love that simple fact, like the heroes are the villains or the opposing force in this, and they actually kind of behave like antagonists. They're not really heroic, or at least this guy isn't. Kind of an asshole. He's just very narrow-minded and focused on the goal, not really putting much thought into what he's even doing. And it just continues to be really funny and fun. I'm really liking it more, even more now that we're getting into the real, crux of the whole story. My confidence is still through the roof on this one. I think this is going to be a major, major hit. And this just cemented it even further. This is just super fun. Love it. Shinobi Undercover Chapter 80, A Gift for You. Fantastic stuff. Seems like we are fully going in the route of making Yoichi a ally of some sort. This could backfire in some way, I don't really know, but I really like this for him. I wasn't sure what I wanted from him. I threw out the possibility of a larger antagonist continuing on in some fashion, but I also threw out the idea of him becoming an ally, like talking him down or helping him out here. And that's where we're going. I guess it still could backfire. I don't know. We'll see. But I really like this for him. I can't wait to see next chapter to see like the actual aftermath of this. But as it stands now, I thought this was really great. I just really like Yoichi. He's a very cool character. I've been enjoying him so much, and I would be more than happy to have him as an addition to the regular cast of the series. So much potential there. Even a cool moment for Kasasagi, who has really grown on me, by the way. Or Kasasaki, I always forget her name. I don't know, something like that. Sorry, I'll get it one day. She is really cool now. I actually am really enjoying her, but again, as I said before, this opinion could shift back to how it was before once we get into more like slice of life content. Even though the series barely does that anymore, but just, low-key moments without action. I was not a fan of how she was acting before, but I like her here, so whatever. If she's like a sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't kind of character, I guess that's fine. But I feel like I am ultimately endeared to her more now than I was before. Great stuff. Really like this chapter. Blue Box Chapter 241, Love All Play. Lovely little moment between Shinatsu and Taiki here. I really like that. It's so silly. She just holds the racket up and she's like, I'll cheer for you on the other side of this net. That's cute. It was very charming. Just another classic moment between the two of them. That's pretty much every moment they share together is what I would consider to be a classic moment between them. They're just such a lovely couple. And now we go into our final game. This is it. This is likely the last game of the entire series. Honestly, don't even really know how this is going to turn out. Taiki could lose. It's possible. It's very much a possibility. One thing I will say is that Yusa is not a great design, in my opinion. Like, looking at this final page and seeing these two stand next to each other like this, I just, one character being Taiki just looks like a much more pleasant design compared to Yusa. He just has very weird hair and eyes and face. It's all, what did Hina see in this guy before? I don't understand. Whatever, I don't care. His design hardly matters. I'm excited to see the game. Let's see what Miura's got up her sleeve for the final game. I've never been too impressed by games in this series. I've talked about that so many times, but maybe this final game will be like a mind blower. I will at least be on the edge of my seat because genuinely, I have no idea who's going to win. It could go either way. And I think that's a really impressive thing to be able to do, like have the stakes be so real that you genuinely have no idea who's going to win. Like it doesn't feel like Taiki has to win here for there to be a satisfying narrative conclusion for this story. Very excited to see how this goes. Akane-banashi Chapter 205, Almost Like the Old. Do you think anybody on the planet is doing this dress up thing? Anybody cutting up their copy of Shonen Jump to make this happen? I don't think so, but hey. You never know. There's also not a lot of options. It's just like the kimono or yukata, whatever that is, her normal casual clothes, and the dress that she's wearing right now. Not really a whole lot of room for customization. You can give her different shoes. That's kind of it. I don't know. Sure. I don't know why I'm hyper analyzing this dress up page. I don't think anybody really gives a shit. Anyhow, chapter itself, extremely good. We're just, it's like, it's leaving us on the edge of our seat every chapter. Like, are we finally gonna get to see what Akane's interpretation of death is? No. Next week, I think, maybe, finally, because we really seem to be getting into it now. We're getting glimpses of it. I don't want to speculate too much because I really feel like whatever anybody comes up with, it's just going to be like the total opposite of that. Whatever the answer is, it's not going to be something that somebody can guess. We'll see. I do feel there are hints along the way. Maybe not exactly in this chapter. I feel like this chapter doesn't really give us a whole lot to work with, but prior chapters have keyed me into some ideas. And obviously, I think my earliest guess was just about like it being, it's just up to the audience to interpret what death is. But as we get into in this chapter, it's kind of a crucial part of the telling the story that you need to have your own interpretation of death. It's crucial. You have to have it to tell this story. Leaving it up to the audience isn't exactly how the story is performed. And I really love the look on Isho's face as he asks her that question, obviously internal, but it's just like a very serious look. It's not that normal, like, kind of laughing, grinning look he has. He's very serious. He's taking this extremely seriously. What is your answer, Akane Arakawa? What is death to you? This just feels like a huge moment. What is it? Like, I gotta know. I gotta know now. Like, before I was kind of like, maybe we can just leave it up to our imagination. Like, maybe we don't need a solid answer. But this is telling me that we need an answer. I need to know what her interpretation of death is. I wasn't even confident we were going to get something like this, but I'm glad we are. Amazing chapter. I loved it. Can't wait for next week. Next week's gonna be a big one. I know it. Hima-Ten Chapter 89, Honoka and the Study Session. By the way, before I even talk about the chapter, I wanted to mention this at the top of the episode, but I kind of forgot. This series is ending. There was a quote or whatever, a statement recently saying that it was in the newest volume saying that the series is heading into its climax, which makes sense. I don't really feel this lasting much longer. Not that it's getting axed, it naturally feels like it's ending. Anyhow, this chapter, no. This is really disappointing. And I don't even know why it's disappointing because Honoka has always been a disappointment. I'm sorry, Honoka fans, but oh my god. She's just such a poorly written character. I just cannot care about anything she does or says, especially in the context of this chapter. This is supposed to be her time. We are supposed to be getting endeared to her and rooting for her here. But how can I when like half or 90% of this chapter is spent inside Iemori's head as he's just thinking about other shit? I don't care about Honoka. I really don't. There's nothing here. They barely even talk in this chapter, it feels like. It's just Taiki, not Taiki, Iemori going through the motions and struggling with his other girls that he's been talking to. Grappling with his feelings and all that nonsense. Like, I get it. Yeah, this is a key part of the story, but do we have to do it here and now? Can we wait till later? Like, have him reflect on the day. Don't do this during the date or whatever this is. I hate this. I really think Honoka is being done dirty, even though I don't care about her. I just feel like there's no effort put in to make her like a character we want to root for. I know some people do. I know there are Honoka fans, but I ain't one of them. I don't care. This might as well just be a competition between Kana and Himari. And then she gives them this letter, and I don't know, open it the day before the trip. Okay. Whatever that is. Who cares?
What are you doing, step bro?
Anyways, Exorcist Chapter 144, Stagnation at the Root. This series is taking me on a roller coaster. I keep thinking it's gonna go one way and then it just doesn't. This guy, Yasha or some shit, what is his name? Kasha, I think. He was giving main villain vibes and he still kind of is, and I thought he was gonna like kidnap Gekka and we're gonna have a whole thing, but now I feel like the fight's gonna end here. Like, Taiki, oh my god, why do I keep saying Taiki for everybody today? What is happening? What? Gakuro is, he's on the up and up right now. He just impaled him. and Kasha is actually like surprised by this. So are we gonna end like what is this whole part of the story? I'm so confused. It feels like the series is ending here, but it's absolutely not. There's no way. It's just so incredibly bizarre to me. I don't even know what to think. It's fine, like it's decent action, and the writing is like the plot stuff happening is more interesting than it's been in a while, I can say. So I'll give it up for that. Still not like terribly interesting, but I'll take what I can get. It's an alright chapter. I'm just really confused about where we're headed.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of...
Undercover Chapter 15, Chiwako's Day Off. So, a new fold has been introduced to the wild mix of Undercover, which, by the way, is near the bottom of the TOC this week. That basically means nothing because it's been all over the place, but once again, we have all 3 new series from the last batch at the bottom of the TOC. Oh my god. This is crazy, guys. This is just insane. I don't know what they're doing. Whatever. Anyway, the new fold being a chapter without Haiji at all. We just have Chiwako. And so previously I had talked about how the series really struggles to balance action and doctor content. Now we're adding like slice of life stuff into the mix, sorta, kinda, a little bit. It serves as, just her kind of spending a day to herself, but also going in a little bit to her past, which is mildly interesting at best. I don't really care all that much, but it's cool. She has a nice design, I'll give her that. I like the cool scar. She's fun. And yeah, this did endear me to her a little more, which is probably good because she does seem to be a major player in the story, even though she hasn't really done a whole lot yet. And yeah, when it's a slice of life, I guess it's fun. I just think this series does everything well except its action. I think it needs to cut action out completely. I don't care. I don't want action. It's stupid and boring. It's just not what this series needs to be. This series would work just as well if it was just an under-doctor and his boss or whatever she is. They don't need to be fighting all the time. Even she fights a little bit in this. I mean, she kind of just kicks a guy, but it's still action, which... whatever, it's fine. I didn't really have a problem with that, to be honest, but it still ended up devolving into an action thing happening, which just sucks. I don't know, whatever. It was a good chapter. I actually did have fun reading it for the most part. It was just kind of odd given what the series has been up to this point, but we take what we can get. It was all right. Kinato's Magic Chapter 14, Village of the Majo Clan. I'm starting to feel my interest in this wane, and it was doing that before too, given how boring it's been. But now that we're in like a new arc, yeah, I'm not super interested in this. It's at least got its humor back, which I appreciate. It's funny. It's just not as funny as it was. And this concept, like, yeah, this whole like ninja woman land. Sure. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'll take it. Maybe it'll be fun. Doesn't really feel fun yet. It's just not really doing anything interesting with the concept. Not that you really even could. I don't know what you could do with this concept, to be honest. I guess it's kind of giving off like a Gerudo, like from Zelda vibe. Just a clan of all women, like warriors. I don't know, man. Is there gonna be like one man as the ruler? Ganondorf, are we gonna get Ganondorf here? Main villain Ganondorf? Just add another unoriginal idea to this series. It wasn't even really a bad chapter. It was fine. It's just like a setup thing for this new arc. I just don't really have anything substantial to say about it. It is what it is. She uses his power on this woman and fixes her back. Sweet. Good job, man. You did it. Alien Headbutt Chapter 13, Escape. This series jumped the shark very fast, and I don't fully hate it or anything. It's fine. It's just not really what I was liking about the series before. It just feels like things are happening now with very little purpose. Little May being like waifu bait is now a very interesting concept. Okay. There were some takes last week or last issue about how, I guess in Japan, this design is pretty popular, so it's getting eyes on the series. And if, again, I also said this last week, if this is what it takes to get Alien Headbutt to stay in the magazine, then so be it. Make the goat a girl. Whatever. I don't care. What I do care about is these designs. So we have these new looks for our characters, which I hope to God don't last because I don't like these at all. Oga just has like all the charm that he previously had sucked out of him, and now he's just this like robot looking guy. I don't need all that. And even May, like, this is a significantly worse design than what she looked like before. I don't know. And then we just kind of destroy the needle guy and carry on with our lives. The pacing is going insano mode. This is ridiculous. I don't know. I feel like the mangaka is starting to catch on to the fact that he's probably going to get canceled. So he's just stepping up the pace tenfold to get all his ideas out there. This isn't really working too much for me, which is a shame because I've really been enjoying this series. It's not to say this won't win me over again. It's just this chapter in and of itself was just kind of a dud, in my opinion. Didn't do a whole lot for me. Whatever, you know, it's fine. I'm still hoping for the best. I like this series. It may not know what it's doing right now, but he's probably just panicking because the axe is looming. Alright everybody, that's going to do it for Weekly Shonen Jump 2026 issue number 24. Pretty solid issue to come back to. A lot of solid stuff in this issue. Not a whole lot of complaints. Everything was at least solid. You know, everything is making big developments. Things are moving, things are happening. We're getting to big places in a lot of series. And overall, yeah, just a really fun week to come back to after an off week. But as always, one chapter did stand out amongst the rest, and this week my chapter of the week actually goes to Witch Watch, chapter 246, Bone Crisis, part 15. I loved this for Wolf. I really thought Wolf was just at his best here, and how could he not be in his likely final moments? This is just such a great like last stand chapter. I really like seeing everything he does here and having him, you know, give himself up for the people he cares about. And I'm sure next chapter will be even more of a slam dunk. We could have a back-to-back chapter of the week if it sticks to landing, because this is a great layup and a great way to get into the actual death of the character. If that is what happens, I still want to leave the possibility of him living on the table, because honestly, I kind of want it to happen. I want him to live. He deserves it. But we'll talk more about that next week whenever we actually know his fate. On its own, though, I still think this was a fantastic chapter, and I really like everything it did for this character, who I've fallen in love with over the course of the series. I think Wolf is an amazing character, and this is just a great send-off for him, or a great like last action moment at the very least, if nothing else. Amazing chapter. All right, next week for issue number 25, Nue is taking the cover. Yippee, guys, we got a Nue cover. Oh boy, that's fun. Maybe the first on the channel. I don't remember ever having Nue on a thumbnail, but I don't know. I can't really remember. It's not something that happens very often. It's probably an anniversary or something. I feel like that's the only way it could get on the cover. Also, I want to tell you guys, there will be an off week coming up for me. I'm still trying to figure out what that's going to look like if I'm still going to cover the issue. I will be at MomoCon in Atlanta, Georgia during the weekend of the 23rd. So yeah, I won't be able to record. I'll be gone. And after that, there's a bachelor party thing happening for a friend of mine. I'll be gone. So we'll see if I can still get an issue review out during the week. I don't know what it's going to look like. I really have no idea. I'll let you know fully next week what I decide. There will be a video next week just like normal, but week after gonna be weird. I'm not really sure what that looks like yet, but I will let you know either in the video itself or on a community post or something. Keep an eye out. All right, as always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts on this issue. Let me know your chapter of the week, your least favorite chapter of the week, or anything else you'd like to tell me about from this issue. Also, remember you can become a channel member at 3 tiers. You can click the join button down below to see what tier works best for you. You get things like emotes, early access to new videos, exclusive monthly videos, name in the credits, and if you join at the highest tier, you'll get your name read out loud right now. So thank you to DJ Tengen, Milu Kitty, Braden Farrell, Halfpipe, Rafker, The Cosmer64, Cosmic, Key to the Skies, Iliadis, Noobs Rock, Dan, and The World's Worst. Thank you all so much for your support, and thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in whatever you decide to watch next. Take it easy, guys.